Good day. Okay, my name is Oyewole David, and I'm popularly known as King David. So I welcome you to the official educational consult. And firstly, before we proceed, I want you to do something for me. Please, I want you to click on the subscribe button on your screen so that whenever I post something good, you'll be able to benefit from it. And this is how you do it. After you have clicked on the subscribe button, you will see something like a notification bell. So just click on that too. Please, before we proceed, can you just do that for me? Please. Okay, having done that, thank you. So now we can proceed. Now in this video, I'll be taking you the minimum and maximum values of a quadratic function. And you can see we have minimum and maximum. So when will you be asked to find minimum and when will you be asked to find maximum? Now when the coefficient of x squared is positive, when the coefficient of x squared is positive, you'll be asked to find the minimum. And when the coefficient of x squared is negative, you'll be asked to find the maximum. And that's just as simple as that. Now let's proceed. I'm going to be teaching you my own method and a very short form so that whenever you get to the exam or you are being asked a question, you won't have to waste your time. You understand? So now let's proceed. For example, you have something like this: y equals to 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. Now, in this case, they might ask you to find the minimum value. Now, why are we looking for the minimum value? Why? Because the coefficient of x squared is 3. And this being is minus 3, you'll be asked to find the maximum values. But now, because it's positive number, that's plus 3, you'll be asked to find the minimum. Do you get it now? So now, you can be asked to find the minimum value of x or the minimum value of y. It depends on what the question is saying. So now if the question is saying find the minimum value of x, this is how you're going to do it. Now this quadratic equation you're having here, you just bring it out and say 3x squared minus 2x plus 1 equals to 0. Now having done this, you will differentiate this. And how do you differentiate? Now the power of x, you can only differentiate the ones that are having x, actually. So now the power of x here, which is 2. 2 times 3, that's what? 6x. Then 2 minus 1, it will remain 1, actually. I don't need to tell you this, so that's just the normal differentiation. 2 times 3 is what? 6. Then 2 minus 1, it will remain x raised to power 1. And anything raised to power 1 is what? It's still that same x. Then minus, by the time you differentiate 2x, is 1 that you're having here, an invisible 1, right? So 1 times 2 will give you what? 2. And then you will have x raised to power 1 minus 1 because you will subtract 1 from the power. So 1 minus 1 will be what? 0. And anything raised to power 0 is what? 1. That's why we have our x to be, it will disappear to be 1. And then this one will be what? 0. Because it doesn't have x. And since we are differentiating it, it will just turn to 0 like that. Then equals to 0. So having done that, the next thing to do is what? Now 6x equals to 2. And what I did here is I simply collected like terms. And then the next thing to do is divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 6. And that's 2 here 1, 2 here 3. So now the minimum value of x in this quadratic function is 1 over 3. That's just the minimum value of x. Now, in case you are being asked to find the minimum value of y, the simple thing you are going to do is that the value of x which you've gotten here, you will substitute it into what you have here. And that's going to be what? Y equals to, now 3x squared, that's 3. Whenever you see x, you put what? 1 over 3. Right? Because since they said x equals 1 over 3. That's if the question is saying you should find the minimum value of y. But if it's saying find the minimum value of x, this is where you stop. Do you get that? So now we have input x in this equation. Now that's going to be what? Now 3 open bracket Now, since we know that this square here is going to affect both the up and down, do you get it now? Since we know in our laws of indices, it will not just affect 1, it will not just affect 3, but it will affect both of them. And that's going to be what? 1 over 9. Because 1 raised to power 2 is what? Is 1. Why 3 raised to power 2 is what? 9. Do you get that? Then minus, this one doesn't have any power, so we can just simply write 2 times 1, 2 over 3, then plus 1. So now having arrived here, let's also make this simple, and that's by doing what? Now 3 times 1 is what? 3 over 9, right? Or instead of doing that, we can actually make things simple for ourselves. Just do it this way: 3 here 1, 3 here 3, right? So that's going to be 1 over 3. We are left with 1 over 3. 1 over 3 minus 2 over 3 plus 1. Right? Okay, so when you get to this kind of stage, what's the next thing to do? Okay, you agree with me that the next thing to do is what? Is to find the LCM. Since you have y equals to 1 over 3 minus 2 over 3 plus 1. So now the LCM here is what? By the time you find the LCM of 3, 3, and 1, the LCM is what? 3. So 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times 1, 1. Minus 3 divided by 3, 1. 1 times 2, 2. Plus 3 divided by 1, that's 3. 3 times 1, 3. And then that will be what? 1 minus 2 is what? That's minus 1. Minus 1 plus 3, that's 2 over 3. So now the minimum value of y will be 2 over 3, while the minimum value of x will be 1 over 3. So it depends on what the question is asking you. If it's asking you to find the minimum value of x, you will stop at that first part. But if it's asking you to find the minimum of y, you will proceed again and then till you get to this part. Do you get that now? So now let's try a question under the so in case you're not getting anything, or in case I'm too fast, you need to just simply double tap the screen towards the side, just to backward, just double tap. That's it. Now, another question here says find the maximum value of 6x minus 9 minus x squared. Now, find the maximum value of this. Now, if it's saying find the value, okay, now let's put it as y equals to 6x minus 9 minus x squared. That's just a simple. Now, it's saying find the maximum value of y, because it's saying find the maximum value of the whole of this. So we are representing the whole of this as y. So y equals to this. Do you get it now? So that means we are looking for the value of y here, the maximum value of y. But if it's saying find the maximum value of x in this quadratic function, that means we are going to stop at x. Do you get it now? And the reason we are looking for maximum is because the coefficient of x squared here is what? Minus, is a negative number. So now we'll proceed just like the way we did the other time. Now, differentiate this. By the time you differentiate 6x, it will give you what? 6, right? Now, differentiate 9 minus 9, that's giving you 0. And you differentiate this, that will give you what? Minus 2x equals to 0, right? So now, collect like 10. By the time you collect like 10, you take 2x to that side. Now, minus 2x you change to what? Plus 2x. Why? Because it's changing position from this side to the other side. Do you get that now? So whenever you're shifting a number from here to the other side, if it's a negative number, it will turn to positive when you get here. And if it's a positive number, it will turn to negative by the time you get to the other side. And that's by, okay now, so to get our x, we divide both sides by the coefficient of x, which is 2, right? 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. So now the maximum value of x in this equation is 3. And because they are asking us for the value of y, the maximum value of y, so we won't stop here. So we'll proceed to this. So now from this equation here, Whenever you see x, you put what? 3. So that's going to be 6, 3, minus 9, then minus 3 squared. Do you get that now? So that's because 6x, so that's 63 minus 9 minus x squared, that's 3 squared. So now that's going to give you what? Okay, at the end of the day, you will get 6 times 3 is what? 18, right? Now minus 9 minus 3 squared is what? 9. So at the end of the day, the final answer will be what? 18 minus 9 is 9, right? Because 18 minus 9 is 9, minus 9. And I told you that if you're having the same number subtracting itself, 9 minus 9 will always give you what? 0. Because you have 9 and then you are giving out 9. That means you will be left with nothing. And then the maximum value of y here is 0. So now that's just the simple way to solve the minimum and maximum values of quadratic function. And then I will give you a classwork. I love to do that. So I love to do that, yeah. So I want to give you a classwork. Let me look for a simple question for you. I need to get a simple question, okay? Okay, now it says, now whenever you have a question like this, now, are you going to find the maximum here or minimum? Obviously, you should know you are going to find the minimum. So then you should find the minimum value of x and also find the minimum value of y. So do that and let me know your answer in the comment section. I will actually check that. I will actually check it. So thank you so much.